Hey there guys, Jack Barnwell here in beautiful, beautiful northern Michigan. I have a real treat for you guys today. This is the initial site visit for me on a property. I've never been here before, and we thought we'd pause for a minute and walk through it, together. So I'll kind of talk through what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking and what I kind of think about as I walk through an initial site like this, to design-wise when I'm tasked with reinventing or reimagining the landscape and garden spaces. So I literally have not been around this site at all yet. I don't know what we're gonna see. I just know that it's right on Torch Lake, so I know it's gonna be really beautiful on the other side of the house. So let's check it out together. Right away, one thing I always am looking at is the trees that are on a site like this. The integrity of some really, really big trees and how safe they are, the health of them. This is a beautiful, beautiful birch specimen there. Some really nice pines. So right away, I'm noticing that there's some really big, beautiful upper canopy trees. But then also I'm looking at, the safety and functionality of a lot of the hardscapes. The driveway here is a blacktop driveway. It's buckling and cracking a little bit, so it's something that's either going to need to be addressed soon or maybe rethought with a different product or redone. So those are things I'm thinking through depending on the scope and scale of how big this project becomes. If we're coming in with some big equipment and things like that and maybe doing some damage to the blacktop, maybe it's not such a bad thing because we're going to redo it anyway. So always thinking through stuff like that. And then right away looking at, again, more of the hardscape here. This little sidewalk to this back door, is this enough? Is it safe? I do see one crack here, but is it okay and functioning fine? Or aesthetically, do they want to look at something else? Do they want it something a little wider? Do we want to look at a different product like a brick or stone or something? So thinking about that. And so I'm always, predominantly thinking about function of the site, safety of the site. Does the site work? Is it conducive to them living here and being in this space? I'm seeing that this concrete was probably poured a long, long time ago. And so this cute little bench right here is just kind of sitting in the dirt. This little hose stand here is just sort of sitting in this muddy area. Would it be better to consider a new hardscape concept where we can kind of pick up some of this and broaden this landing out a little bit? And then does it also, kind of sweep in and include this little seating area? It looks like they've got a charming little table here. Is this okay that it's just sort of sitting in the cedar here and in the dirt, or would they want this to be a little bit more finished out and make this space a little nicer with some lighting and things like that? Again, I'm just walking and talking through what I'm seeing. There are some really beautiful trees, like I said. Some of them are a little close to the house and foundation, but some of that can be dealt with some really good pruning and thinning up, and we can leave. I want to leave as many of the big, big, beautiful trees as possible, but also making sure that we're taking care of the property and taking care of the house. There are, right away, I see some things, what I call the uglies, trash and recycling, utility stuff like this, that's right here, right off the driveway and the sort of main entry to the house. So thinking through, okay, how can we screen these, or can they go to a different location? They're probably here because it's close to the back door of the house and that's easy to access. So if this is going to be their location, how can we work that in to screen those a little bit better? I'm seeing a little bed here, foundation planting. It looks like they're integrating a lot of herbs. We've got some sage, some nice lavender here. So that's nice, and some thyme over there. Maybe this is a nice little herb garden here, but would this be a little bit nicer if it were more elevated, a little more workable? Once I work with the clients, I can get a handle on how mobile they are and able they are. Would it be nice to make some of these spaces a little bit more of a working space? They've got a workstation of some kind over here. And it looks like she's got red pine mulch, cypress mulch, all these different potting mixes. She does a lot of potting up and planting of little plants. So how can I design and make this into a really cool little workshop and workspace that's really aesthetically beautiful but functions really well for her? I'm pretty excited about this one. I can hear the waves crashing in the back here, so wow. Wow, 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 wow. Right away, the property just totally changes from this woodland oasis and quiet, shady space to this bright, beautiful, sunny, like beach getaway. This is sweet. We are on Torch Lake, looking down the barrel of Torch Lake. We are on the north point of Torch Lake, looking south. So this gets a lot of sun. And isn't that just absolutely amazing and stunning? Beautiful, beautiful fall color. As you can see, it's a gorgeous fall day. All the colors are just going off right now. They got a nice little fire pit here. So one thing, a question right away I'll address is this adequate? Does this work for them? Or would they like this to be a little bit more refined, you know, and do a little bit of a space here that's a little bit more leveled out for chairs and things? So it's just sitting in the sand, totally fine as is. Or they want a nice little wood rack, you know, firewood rack. And so understanding how they use the spaces and what we can do to make it that much better for them. These decks and all this right off of the beach are beautiful. Lots of really cool little fun pots and stuff all around. Like I said, the owner is really into plants and planting and potting up stuff and taking cuttings and playing around with all that. So I want to make sure that I really make that space over there we are looking at just a really awesome workspace for her. Here we've got a wellhead, obviously very important to have, but how can we hide that and make sure that that's not just screaming right there and such a trip hazard as well? So we'll have to do that. We've got some kayak and paddleboard storage going on, and these are looking like they're functioning well. They're in good shape, great integrity, no rot or anything. These are actually beautifully made. This is all cedar and well made, but you know, can we do a little better? Lifting these up, making sure they're out of the dirt so they'll last that much longer. So how can we finish this off just a little bit nicer? Yeah, in here's a kind of a little bit of a sucker tree there, kind of leaning toward the house. A big, huge linden tree right here. Could either be pruned and left there, or is it time to consider either trying to move that, which could be done, or is it, you know, time to consider removal? These yews here, this is a Hicksii yew, upright yew. They're beautiful. The red berries on them looking stunning, but obviously the deer have been browsing on these very heavily. So again, is it time to consider something different right here because of that browsing, or does she like that and we underplant underneath it and kind of work with what we got going on there? See how that all goes. This whole space here, it looks like there's no lawn at all. So no lawn mowing going on, which is great. This is all just a pine bark mulch kind of lawn area. And so it's really conducive to some drifts of ground cover, planting this out if she wants it to be a little greener. And it does look like there's another pathway coming around the side here. This is very crooked. This awesome big white pine is beautiful. I think we should totally show this off. That is unbelievably gorgeous. It smells so good. This is a stunning tree. So to me, I think we should pull all this current plant material, some of these old viburnum, this old yew, pull all this stuff out, screen some of these utilities better, and soften up around the house a little bit here, and bring this pathway, this little stepping stone pathway is really not doing it. It's all kinds of crooked and just way too small and stuff. But bring this out into this whole broader space and really just show off and appreciate this beautiful white pine, and kind of use up this space here for a big path through a woodland garden, screen off the neighbor's sort of utility shed area there, screen all that off completely, and make this more of just a path area, maybe a cool little bench even to sit and just stare at that tree. It is so awesome. And really a bench right here, you could have a beautiful view right out to the lake. If we took out that little sucker tree there, we'd have a really cool view out down the lake and of this stunning, stunning white pine. So I think that's a nice idea to really broaden this out to a cool seating area there. That'll work out really well. And then connect it back up into here and this whole entire space. So I'm already starting to really get a feel for how this under canopy planting and this woodland setting back here could go, and then out front, that beachy scene. This is gonna be a really, really fun one. So these clients have provided me with a site plan. So I have the house on the lot. We'll get a lot of photographs and video today of the site and paint some things out and everything so we can remember this entire feeling and this entire sort of thought process that we've had today. And then I'll jump on the computer, start putting this all to work and drawing it all up, go through it with the client and see what they think. And hopefully next spring, next summer, we can be diving into this one, plant it all up and everything. We'll take you guys all along and you can say, I remember when Jack was first going through that, and that'll be fun if you can see this one come to work. So anyway, oh, we lost you guys. Hey, we'll see you guys all again soon in another video. Up and coming here soon. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Have a good night. Cheers.
Why did it do that?
Fuck, right at the end.
Right
too.
at the end. It was literally like 11:45.